which deals with this yuddha. But even before it deals with the yuddha, it actually shows what all had happened. What was the framework of mind of all the different people at that time, and how this war actually began. Several things. And there are many life lessons in all of that. So we will be discussing this section deeply as we go from one week to another to another. We'll try to learn from the various characters, their mindsets, and the lessons which the Ramayana is teaching us. That's what will be our journey. Last week we discussed how what was the quality of Ravana. We were discussing that how Ravana, although he is a demon, although he has demoniac um, outlook towards life, yet he had sufficient control of his mind. We were discussing that. We were also discussing that how Vibhishan, why was Ravana tolerating Vibhishan? Why was he allowing Vibhishan to do whatever devotion he was doing in the Lanka? We discussed that also. That was because a boon was given by Lord Shiva to Vibhishan. That till the time Vibhishan will stay in Lanka and he will be performing his whatever worship. Till that time, Lanka will keep getting strength from the devotion of Vibhishan. And Lanka cannot be harmed. So, because that was the reason, Ravana, although he did not like what Vibhishan was doing, yet he just tolerated it. And we were discussing that Hanumanji actually opened the eyes of Vibhishan. Vibhishan was in sort of an illusion that my brother is such a nice person, although he does not like me to worship. But just look at this. He even gave me a temple. He actually opened this whole, place for me to worship. How good a brother is he? So it was Hanumanji who actually opened the eyes of Vibhishan. And he informed him that it's not like that. It's not the way Vibhishan is imagining. It's just a tactics which Ravana is playing so that he could be benefited. And we gave a comparison to it, remember last week, how Duryodhan and Karna. So Duryodhan was winning over Karna just so that he can use him against Arjun. Similarly, Ravana was trying to just take benefit and advantage from uh, from Vibhishan so that Lanka could be benefited in some way. It was not because he was very great person, he was tolerating or he was even though he did not like what Vibhishan was doing, he was agreeing for it. It wasn't like that. It was just a tactics. When Vibhishan's eyes opened up, then actually he surrendered to Ram. Actually, this is the role of a guru. Hanumanji is therefore considered the guru of Vibhishan as well. Because it is he who opened his eyes towards the truth, the reality, and because of which the Vibhishan could surrender to Lord Ram completely. In our own lives also, unless the truth is evident, sometimes we are not able to, surrender ourselves to the Lord. Although something could be very, very much there, it is evident to others, but for us, we are creating an illusion and thinking that, oh, no, no, everything could be right, everything is okay. We create a facade. That's what I was discussing about last week. That instead of living a life of truth, we prefer to live a life of lie. And that's what creates the trouble. Can we open the slides more? Seems like there is some darkness. If we can open this, it will be better. Even before I begin the class, it's better that we keep the all the things lit up properly. If it is not opening, then we can repair it before next week. Okay. So we prefer to live a life of lies. Remember, I was speaking about advertisements last week, that how advertisements keep us into some sort of. I mean, all of us know what they're showing us will never happen, but you don't sit there, it's too cold. So sit inside. There is a lot of space there. Sit inside properly. It's too cold there. Hmm. So we know the advertisements are actually nothing but cheating us. They're telling something which will never happen. Huh? But still we feel like, no, no, no problem. It's okay. Maybe I will be the exception. I will be that person. Don't sit in the cold. Come inside. Come inside. There is a lot of space there. Yes. And come on time from next time. You are just below only. From the third floor to fourth floor, you have to come. So we prefer still to just believe it. We know that what they're saying, like, every mutual fund scheme, whatever they say, there is no risk, everything is wonderful, and you will get this many returns and that many returns, and a rosy picture is portrayed. And then you enter into it and you feel like, oh my God, what did I do? Now I think I'm going to get cheated. Every real estate person, you may, we are selling you at zero profit. Everything is going to come your way and everything is nice here, you see. And then you get into it and you, oh my God, I think I'm cheated. And everything which is going on around here is like that. Somebody says to you, I'll give you this product and I'm not making any profit from you. You already know that he's speaking a lie. You go and speak the merchant, you go and speak to the sari shop, you go and speak on the grocery shop. Everybody says, from you, I am not taking any profit. He's already speaking a lie. You know that. But sort of, we live in a world where we just feel it's okay, things might turn out wonderful for me. Although we know that we are living a life of lie. Vibhishan was like that. He was also living a life of lie, hoping that his brother is very good. He was not. But he was thinking, he's my brother. So, he has his pious side also. Yes, his brother had a very pious side. He used to perform various yagyas, but what for? It was all so that he can get powers, and then after that, he will do so many adharmic activities. So, uh, not in the completely same way, but in a similar way, we also live our life. As I was saying, it's too hard to live a life of truth. It's very difficult to live a life of truth. We kind of see that yes, things are not going to turn my way especially as we start growing older, especially when you cross your 30s and 40s. The life actually shows you what it is. The body itself is not cooperating with you. You are getting diseases despite you not wanting them. The people whom you thought your own children, your own kinsmen will listen to you, they don't listen to you. Oh my God. And things are just dwindling. They're degrading day by day by day. And then still you feel, no, no, no problem. Everything will go right tomorrow. If I just do this, that's it. Everything will go right. But there's nothing called as all right in the material world. There's nothing called as all right in the material world. It's all about there's going to be troubles, there's going to be difficulties. That does not mean that we should become pessimistic, but it means that we become realistic. Realistic means we know there is no other shelter other than Lord Krishna's lotus feet. There is no other real shelter other than performing the bhakti, the path of dharma, other than hearing and chanting the holy names of the Lord. This is the real shelter. It's not that we have to become pessimistic in our life and feel fearful, oh, something will go wrong, and it is going to go wrong. But it is that we take the right shelter instead of the wrong shelter. So Vibhishan's eyes were opened, and what he will do further, of course, we already showed you that how he was chanting the names of Ram while sitting inside his room, inside his house. Ravan caught him red-handed, and we also discussed what he did after that. So all of that was last week, and let's start now today. Today's katha. Let's see how the events unfold further. Let's join our hands to pray before we begin the katha today. ॐ अज्ञानतिमिरन्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरुवे नमः। नमो ॐ विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामिनिति नामिने। नमस्ते सारस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देश तारिणे। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंदा। Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. मूकं करोति वाचालं पङ्गुं लङ्घायते गिरिं यत्कृपातमहं वन्दे श्रीगुरो दीनतारिणम्. Hare Krishna. So we ended at a time in the story that Ravan was in a bit of doubts. Vibhishan, okay, Hanumanji left his home. This is the only palace which he had left. And why so? Why didn't he burn this particular palace? He burnt everything else. He was a bit of dilemma. He was still questioning. He had not got the answers, but he just thought, okay, let me give benefit of doubt to my brother Vibhishan. So that's how his mind was. But he was also disturbed. So after he came out of the whole palace of Vibhishan, he went back to his courtroom, and there he called for an emergency meeting. Last time, this is what I was talking about. So he called for an emergency meeting. This was a state of emergency. He called for all the most important citizens of Lanka, and he wanted to have a meeting with them. So everybody came. There was the generals, the ministers, the powerful chief captains of his army. All of them were assembled together. They had not seen Ravana so tensed ever in his life. You know, Ravana was a story of someone who got his way always. He had always gotten his way. It's like, sometimes some people, they have never tasted failures in life. They've always got what they wanted. And when they get a failure, it's intolerable, very difficult. So, sometimes it happens in student life, sometimes it happens as you grow up. So there was one particular boy. He always got very good marks, always. And so therefore his parents thought, he is a very good in academics and you can come inside, why are you sitting on so cold floor? Come in, be comfortable. Yes, it's cold there. So his parents thought, he can do very well. So they made him go into some one IIT type of a coaching because our son has been always, coming number one, two, three, always. He's never seen failure. I happened to meet this boy. When we had started our hostel in Kota, for 5 years we ran it. So this boy was staying in our hostel. This is a good boy. He was from Kolkata. He had come to Kota in one of the prestigious coaching academy. He was studying. And then he went into depression. He went into depression. And the reason of depression was he had always been the topper. One, two, three. Now he is in a batch, a good batch. And all the children are very good in that batch. And he wasn't getting anywhere near to one, two, three ranks. He was coming behind. Much, 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 much behind, actually. Much behind. Somewhere in the last. And he was feeling very depressed. Oh, what's happening to me? Am I not doing the right thing? क्या हो गया मुझे? Udi Baba. Ki hui lo? He was a Bengali. What happened? Why is this happening? So he never thought, in his life, he had never seen less marks ever. He was always getting, as I said, one, two, and three. So he became very depressed. And his father met me, he met me, and then he was like very nervous. I could see that he's very uncomfortable, extremely uncomfortable. He was like unable to study anything. And the reason is that he was not able to accept that he can also be a mediocre among such good students. He was not able to accept it only. I said, just continue. You continue. He just came 3, 4 months to Kota. And then his father was saying, I don't know, he's spending sleepless nights. He's not able to sleep. He's crying. He's unhappy. And see, look at this, what has happened. So I was talking to him. But this is a well known psychological phenomenon also. That generally, when you cannot accept certain things, it leads to such a mental state that you become completely like what you call uh, you just can't, you are not in the right frame, you cannot live your life normally, you are not able to accept certain thing. Oh, how can I get such less marks in this college? Oh, how can I not come for second and third? He was not able to accept it only. His And therefore, he had to go back to his city, wherever he came from. He didn't perform anything good thereafter because it was a shocking thing for him. And it's not that it happens only to him. There are a lot of people, it happens to them. And why? You see, because people think that life should always go according to what I want in life. But that's never going to happen. Sometimes, if it is happening, you should consider that it's your good karma from the last life, the pious karma from the last life. Hmm? But do you know what is the definition of misery? What is the definition of misery? Misery, misery. Everybody knows that, na? Misery. Okay. What is the definition of misery? What's the definition of misery? So misery means when you get things which you don't want, and when you don't get things which you want. This is twofold definition of misery. When you when you don't get things which you want, and when you get things which you don't want, that's called as misery. Nobody likes it, right? Nobody likes it. Yeah. But the fact is, we have to learn that this is not the world. This bhautik jagat, this material world, is not in control of all of us. It is not going to obey our commands. Things are definitely going to go in an opposite direction some or other time. Some or other time. And we must accept it. It's okay. So failure is not a very bad thing. Failure is not at all a bad thing. It's just going to happen. It happens to everybody. And so therefore, when it happens to you, you just accept it. Okay, fine. That's nice. That's okay. Okay, let me learn what I need to improve upon. This is one thing which people never ask themselves. They are always thinking about why others are not like that, why this person is not behaving this way, why the situation is not turning my way, why this, why that. The fingers are always outside. This. Some problem is outside. The day you understand the problem is inside, that day you actually come to the solution. But you know, this boy, he was not able to accept that there is a problem in me. There is a problem in the method which I am applying. There is a problem in the way I am studying. There is a problem in a way which I am approaching the things. He was not able to accept it. And so therefore, why this is happening to me? Oh. He was, Prabhu, you can, those who are devotees, please guide devotees, those who are participants, that they can sit. And otherwise, I'll keep telling everybody who will come, please sit comfortably. Prabhu, you can be comfortable. Thank you for joining us. Hare Krishna. Okay. So this is the thing. You see, pride does not allow us to find some improvement in ourselves. And this is why the misery which has come was small. The reaction to their misery made it go big. You understand? The misery what came to their life was actually small. Okay, what was the problem? The problem was he is not getting some good marks in the particular test. All right, it's fine. Let's analyze. Maybe there is something to improve. Maybe I am not applying the right methods. Maybe I'm doing something wrong. Okay, focus on what can be improved. Next test, a little better, you will perform. It won't go skyrocketing marks just in little effort. You focus little more, you try improve more, you will become more a better. You make friendship with certain students who are doing better than you. You see how they are doing, you help them, they help you, you go better. But people do not accept these things, these improvements. Rather, what they feel, everything is right in me. Now, still, why it is happening like this? And that is why the life becomes more difficult actually. Ravana was exactly like this person. When Hanumanji came inside, it was shocking. It was not at all something which they have dreamt of. None of the Rakshasas ever thought that somebody someday will just come inside Lanka, breaking the security systems which are all there in place. Remember how it started? Yama was already bound, and Yama would kill the person who actually enters inside the Lanka right in the first step which he took. Remember, I spoke about how Hanumanji came inside, like how many obstacles. So they thought that it is an impossibility. It is impossible to break through the security systems of Lanka. And when it happened, they were shocked. How it happened? And then not only somebody breaks in the security system all alone, single person. Then he enters inside, and what does he do? He kills the son of the king. He kills the son of the king, And then he kills a large amount of section of army of the Ravana. How did it all happen? Right under the nose of the Ravana. With all the generals and military chiefs right over there. It was a shocking thing. And then he could go away. He could go away scot free. He went away. That was all so shocking. Ravana thought, why it happened to me? He was very depressed, unhappy, sad. But he never thought, maybe there is something wrong in me. Maybe something I have done wrong. Maybe I should improve somewhere. He never thought about it. He never thought that, yeah, maybe I did a big mistake in my life. Sita, I should not have abducted. It seems like this is a reaction to that which I have done. He never thought it. In fact, people are telling him. His own wife is telling him. Mandodari is telling him, shut up. That's what he says to her. Shut up. You're not supposed to speak against me. You are from my side, right? I can't hear the truth. Better don't speak. Only speak those words which I like. This is Ravana and alike party. This is how it begins. The demise of every human begins like this only. When they think that nothing is there to improve in me. If we could have the humility to start thinking that maybe I should change something in my life. Maybe there is something wrong which I am doing. Maybe this unhappiness is a result and consequence of something bad which I have done. Maybe I should add some dharma element in my life. Maybe I should become less materialistic in my life. If they could have thought this way, actually, you could have lived a much happier and better lives. That's the thing. So coming to terms to the reality is important in life. Ravana was not accepting it. So what happened? He started preparing for a war. You see, a small thing, he is not going to let it remain small. He is actually going to make it go out of proportion. On the other hand, you'll keep seeing throughout this entire Yuddhakand, Rama is not a person who reacts ever. Ravana is not a person who responds ever. Ravana always will react and Rama will never react. He will always thoughtfully respond. This is a big, huge contrast between the two people, the two kings who are going to enter into a war. You see, Ravana was not less. I have been speaking about him. It's not that we are saying that everything was bad in him, everything was gone wrong in him, and everything he's, demoniac or whatever. He had certain merits of his own, which we have already discussed. But he had certain serious problems inside his mindset. And that also we are discussing. So therefore, he was always reacting. So he called for this emergency meeting. All the military generals are sitting, and then in a very pensive mood, which his ministers have never seen. He was always a happy-going person. Always he got what he wanted in life. What happened today? And Ravana was sad. He was not able to, match his eyes. He could not see into the eyes of his own followers. This is one symptom which you should always notice. I always say this to the people. Whenever anybody in your family is unable to look at your eyes, they cannot give you an eye contact. They are actually trying to, get away from directly looking in your eyes. You should know they are seriously into a mental problem. Seriously into a mental. Something is going wrong. Something is not right. Their mind is not right. They cannot enter into a dialogue with the eyes to eyes contact. This is one of the signatures, the signs of a person who is suffering inside a lot. They'll always, they can't look at you straight and then speak. They're feeling something uncomfortable. Yes. So he was not able to look into the eyes of his own generals. He was looking down, looking left, looking right, not looking in the eyes of the people whom he commanded. And then he was speaking. All of you are the ones who the security and safety of Lanka is dependent on. As I speak to you, know that on the other side, Rama has already arrived along with his huge army of Vanaras. Let me tell you, it is those Vanaras, among them one had come inside and who has created such a havoc in Lanka. Because this is emergency, I want to discuss with you what steps we must take for the security and safety of Lanka against these Vanaras, Rama and Lakshman. Think deeply and tell me what is to be done at this point of time. What? What did we just hear? What did we just? What did just we? What did? What was it? Did Ravana seek and sought an advice? Did he seek an advice? Oh my God! Did Ravana seek an advice? It was a rare incidence. He never sought advices. By the way, he rarely did so. But he had lost all his confidence. Now was the time he actually rarely sought anybody's advice ever in life, as you will see as I will narrate the whole pastime. But this was rare incidence that he is seeking advice of whom? All the ministers and generals who are subordinate to him. So, um, all of them, they were like, first of all, for a moment, for a few moments, they were confused. What? Our king needs our advice today? They were a little confused. And then all of that, there was a cacophony. Yeah, everybody started, like, coming up with certain, certain words of their own in trying to impress the king. Appeasement politics, as we say it. Appeasement politics, which means what? You want to please the person on the throne so that you will be lifted up. You see, that's called as appeasement politics. Very much popular everywhere. It just happens everywhere. It happens in the, offices. Even if the person on the top is wrong, I must get a repo. I must, he should think that I'm on his side. I'll get something, I should get the favor of that person on the top. I know he is wrong. I know what he's doing is not correct. But yet, the appeasement politics. Is it not true? You see, it's so difficult to speak truth in life, right? Ravana is asking what should be done. And what are these generals and ministers speaking of? Oh, they're just speaking for what? So that their master, Ravana, should think that, oh, this person loves me so much. Appeasement. This is called as appeasement. People pleasing. Yeah. Especially those people who are in the power. You may think that the politician is not correct. You may think that he's corrupt and all that. But then you still want to be somebody in their close, what do you call, confident. You want to be near them. You want to be in their good books. You want to know that they should know me and I am there on their side. You see, this is what happens. Again, to stand by the truth is very difficult. Is it not true? Hmm? In a family, it can happen in a family. It can happen in politics. It can happen in office, right? It can happen at home also. You could see that somebody with money, because some family members are having more money, some family members have less money. है ना? एक पिता के चार बेटे, है ना? होता है कभी कभी. It happens in Indian families. And one of the uncles, your tauji or chachaji or kakaji or mamaji or whatever, he is rich man, and you want to be assuring that you are in the good books of that person, although you know he is doing something wrong. I can't speak the truth. Because if I speak, he's not going to be helping me up in life. Or worse so, he may even punish me. Right? Oh my God, what a kind of life we are living. Is it a life of truth or is it a life of lies? Think about it actually. Very difficult. Very, very difficult in life. What I'm talking about, I'm sure every one of you over here is understanding that this happens in everyday affairs also. Huh? If Sasuma has a lot of money and she has the Tijori ka chabi, अरे whatever she says is right only. जो भी कर रहा हो सही है थोड़ा सा इधर तिजोरी की चाबी दे दो बस उसके बाद everything is fine. Huh? Yeah. The wife gets married to the husband. She knows what husband is doing. Maybe, after all, he's giving me what I need, the money or whatever. One young, pretty looking girl, a very beautiful looking girl, got married to a very old man. Just, telling. A very pretty looking young girl, she got married to a very old man. Her friends came and asked, hey, what did you do? Why did you get married to that old man? She said there are two reasons. एक तो उनकी इनकम और दूसरे उनके दिन कम. एक तो उनकी इनकम, पहला उनकी इनकम बहुत अच्छा है. और दूसरा, उनके दिन कम जाने वाला है। सब कुछ मेरा होगा। Ah, oh my God, what we are living with, huh? This world is like that. The people who are appeasing you, are they really on your side? Are they really on your side? Oh, especially the richer you become in life, the lesser number of people you can count upon. You know this? Anybody, in fact, even in your own family members, it could be just your brother also, it could be anybody. They might be plotting something against you while just making a nice face in front of you. That is life. Has it not happened time and again? Time and again it has happened in life. That the very same people whom you close your eyes and depended on, these are the people who are cheating you. Hare Krishna. What a world we are living in. What a world we are living in. Yes, these are the realities of life. This is because you should live the life of truth and encourage others to live the life of truth. Otherwise, we'll mess up our lives. So, Ravana, he's not seeking an advice genuinely. He's just wanting people to support him in his adharmic plans. See, look, I have abducted Sita. See, look, I have done something adharmic. See, look, I'm not going to return Sita. Now, all of you here together die for me. That's what he's saying in one sense. In one sense, that's what he's saying. All of you here, you die for me. And what are these people in return saying? Hooray! Oh, my dear Ravana, I am the best. All these people, one by one, they're wait. I'm going to talk about what they're saying. All of them, they will stand up one by one, by one, by one. These Rakshasas. And first of all, there was a cacophony, which means all of them started speaking together. Nobody could hear anybody. And then they understood that it's not going to happen like that. So then some generals, one by one, one by one, one by one, they started standing up and speaking. What were they speaking? Chap Lucy, sycophant, this is called as. You know, in other words, bootlicking, we call it as, right? They were just doing chaplusi, appeasing. That's called as appeasing politics. Hmm? So they were just speaking things, words which the king would love to hear, which the king would feel like, wow, this person is on my side, and hence they are in the good books of the king. Yes. So therefore, there was one powerful, Rakshasa. He stood up and he said, oh, my dear king, why are you feeling that the Rakshasa's army is less than any army in the world? You were the one who have conquered the biggest enemies of yourself in the entire universe. Don't you remember how we together went? You leading us. We went to the abode of Yamaraj, and you have defeated Yamaraj also. We keep talking about your glory among all of us. How you conquered over Kubera also. Why do you have to fear? These Vanaras, this spine, puny Vanaras and humans, why we have to fear of them? When the war will be there, we will finish them off. In fact, we don't even need you in this war. You should not come for the war. Your son Indrajit, he himself is so powerful that he had not just defeated Indra, but he had enslaved Indra. He had imprisoned him. Till the time you have such a powerful son like Indrajit, why are you fearful, my dear king? Everything will go right. Don't worry about what had happened when Hanuman came inside. Okay, great. Well done, well done. And then Prahasta, the chief captain, he stood up and he said, oh, my dear great Ravan, oh, Lankadhipati Ravan, you are the mightiest hero. Yes, that monkey, one Vanara came inside and he did create havoc. But I, your chief captain, take the full responsibility of whatever wrong had happened. Actually, I was not at guard at that time. I did not anticipate that this Vanara could be so powerful. And hence, we were not fighting to our best. We were not safeguarding the Lanka. He caught us off guard. And hence, he could do whatever he could. Actually, now in the retro course, I am now thinking that we should have been more vigilant at that time. I take responsibility for whatever wrong has happened. And I, Prahasta, the great army general of yours, assure the security of Lanka from hence on. 24 hours a day they will be in alert. And never such a thing will be able to be happen. In fact, don't worry about the sin of bringing Sita to Lanka. I assure that nothing wrong will happen to you. We will finish off these Vanaras. We will destroy the Vanara race, remove the entire Vanara Prajati from the face of the earth, oh my dear king. And then another another Rakshasa stood up and he said, enough is enough. I can't hear such a thing. How can we Rakshasas think ourselves to be lesser than anybody? For the sin which these Vanaras have done to us. Oh, my dear king, order us. What to speak of the earth? We will remove the Vanaras from the entire universe. Not even a single Vanara should be alive in the entire universe. We'll kill them all. Why should they rage a war against us? We will go out and destroy all of them. Ah, you see how much energy is in the room. You know, such people are standing one by one, and they're charging. You see, none of these people. Let me tell you one thing. You see, when a doctor or the lawyer or the advisor, that means the counselor whom you depend on for advice, when these people they start getting into appeasement politics, for sure the health of the person, you see the glory of the person, and whatever properties of the person, they will definitely be diminished. Definitely be diminished. This is what will happen for sure. So never ever get into the relationships where you only have yes man or yes men or yes women, whatever around you. No, actually people who are your best friends are those who can speak something against your wrong actions and they can give you a proper advice. And for this reason, Brahmanas, there were two types of Brahmanas in the past also. You might have heard about Chandragupta Maurya and Chanakya Pandit, right? So Chanakya was one of the chief, what you call, advisors for Chandragupta Maurya. Hmm? But he never took any salary from the king. Do you know this? Although he made this, you know the whole story, I'm not getting into details that how Chandragupta Maurya's father had lost his kingdom and then Chanakya prepared him and he made him into a general, made him into a king actually. You know, so he was a king maker. Chanakya was the king maker, but he never took a farthing from the king. Never. Never ever he took any salary from the king because he said that if you give me money, I will not be able to speak the truth. I will not be able to speak the truth to you. So there were two types of Brahmanas actually in the past also. So one type of Brahmanas were salaried and kept into the court of the king. And the other types of Brahmanas never wanted to be in that salaried type of people. And do you know when the king wanted an honest advice? When the king wanted an honest advice, he never depended on the people whom he was giving salary to. He would always go and find such brahmanas who were not dependent on him because they will speak the truth to him. Oh, you should not do this, you should do this. That they don't fear the consequences. You see, therefore, in life, do you have such people, in your life who could speak the truth to you? You should think about it. Who could speak the truth to you, who could say to you without any fear that, okay, this is something which has to be changed in your life, something which has to be improved in your life, somewhere if you're getting stuck, you need to change the course of actions. Are there people like that around you? If you don't have them, Hare Krishna, then you are like Ravana, who is having all these yes men around who are only getting into appeasement politics, and then what's happening, So therefore, have such people around you. You see, so, like great devotees like Srila Prabhupada, His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada, and the Acharyas, they are like that. They will always speak the truth. They are not dependent on anybody's, money or anything. They have nothing to do with that. They have only thing to do with the how to do the real welfare of the people. In fact, His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada, when he went to the West, on the orders and instructions of his guru to preach the message of Krishna consciousness in the Western world. So Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur, his guru, was really desiring that even Westerners also pick up the path of Sanatan Dharma. They pick up the path of Krishna consciousness. So therefore he instructed Srila Prabhupada, you go, you are an English speaking man, You should go to the West and speak about the Bhagavad Gita's message to the West. And then Prabhupada went over there. Of course, he could only go by the time he was quite old, 60 or something, 69 in fact. So when he went there, he spoke the truth. He spoke about, so if you want to advance in your life, you have to give up the sinful activities. And then he said, so there are four regulative principles according to the Shastras, and you should give up these four sinful habits. What are they? And the Westerners were like, okay, what we have to do to become, become like that. Oh, there is first principle which you should not follow, which is that, so no meat eating, no illicit sex, no gambling, no intoxication. When these Americans they heard, Swamiji, it is very difficult. And then some of them suggested, Swamiji, if you can just reduce one of these principles, your followers will triple. Just you reduce one of these principles, your followers will triple. And Prabhupada became very grave. He said, I have not come to America to please you. I have come to America to please my spiritual master. I cannot speak the lie. I have to speak the truth. You see? See, this is called as integrity. This is called a person who will not compromise with what is the right thing. He will always give to the people what is required for their welfare. And we need to have such people in our life. If we don't have them, it will be very difficult actually. Our life will go hayway and we won't be able to understand what mistakes we are doing in life. Like Ravana. Like Ravana. So one by one they were standing up. And then what happened? Another Rakshasa stood up and he had this huge maze, Gada, and he was whirling it with his huge, mighty, these Rakshasas are like big, big arms with biceps, all that, you understand, a macho man type of personality. He was whirling his mace in the air like this, and he said, if I will be, given opportunity, given permission, in this August assembly, I would like to give some two piece of wisdom from me. You see how people speak. In this August assembly, I would like to speak some two words of wisdom. Now that it is very clear that we all want to destroy the Vanar Sena from this entire face of the earth, let me give you a small piece of advice if you allow me. He did not even wait for others to say yes or no. He continued. You see how haughty and proud these Rakshasas are. You see? And he just continued. He said, there is one way that we can achieve the disaster of Ram, Lakshman, Hanuman, Sugriv, and all these Vanaras. And what is that? We should ask our shape shifting Rakshasas, which means those who can change their shapes, which who can change their shapes. Shape shifting Rakshasas to enter into the army of the Vanaras in thousands and lakhs. We should ask our Rakshasas to go into the Vanara army and say to this weak person, this Rama, who is a weak human being, they should go and ask him that we have come from Bharat's side. We want to help you in this war against Ravan. Bharat has sent us. So please allow us to fight for you. And this weak-minded Ram, he will not be able to understand and he will allow them to go inside. And then they should win the trust of all these people. And then at the right time, when these people have the least, when they're completely distracted, at that time they should burn down the entire Vanara army and kill all of them. This is the best way we can actually finish off all the Vanaras without even getting a little bit harm also to our race. And everybody stood up. Bravo, bravo, wonderful, क्या बात है, मजा आ गया. क्या आपने suggestion दिया है? They were not even thinking about what is moral, what is immoral, what is right, what is wrong, what is to be done, what is. It's like this is called as Rakshasas. You see, sometimes people also become like that. Everything is right. It should just meet the ends which I want. So everybody stood up and they were like, kill the Vanaras, kill the monkeys, hey, hooray, hooray. They all stood up actually. All of them stood up. And sometime before, Ravana was very depressed and he was, kind of asking advice. And now the whole environment is charged with passion, with fire. We'll kill the Vanaras, we'll kill the Vanaras. While all this was going on, Vibhishan was also there. And he preferred to keep quiet most of the times. He was fed up with the entire Lanka's mindset. He was like, what these people are, they don't even think about dharma, etc. He preferred to keep quiet and continue whatever little devotion he was doing most of the times. But whenever he spoke in such a way that even his brother would take him seriously because he spoke rarely. Most often, he would just keep quiet. And if he ever spoke, also, he also used to speak in such a way that his brother would not become angry. He would most often just align with whatever his brother Ravana is saying. And if at all he would do something, he will tweak a little a decision which was given so that it could be aligning a little bit with the dharmic principles. Of course, he knew that everything which was happening was adharmic, but he thought that even within this entire dharma, if he can little tweak decisions and make them little dharmic, maybe it's a beginning and one day change will come. So actually, Vibhishan also to a large extent was into this appeasement politics because only when Hanuman entered in the life of Vibhishan, that is when his eyes opened and he felt, oh no, I have to actually live the life of truth. Oh, I have to surrender to Lord Ram. That is when it happened actually fully. Although he was from his birth a person who would be always dharmic, a person who would always devote himself to the higher purpose, to God, yet he never went against his own brother because he knew what's the consequences of going against Ravana. So he preferred to keep quiet and he only gave very small tweaks to the decisions. For example, one of the tweaks he gave was for the decision which Ravana was saying that we should kill Hanuman. And then Vibhishan stood up at that time and he said, no, no, we should not kill the messenger. However, if you want, you can harm the messenger or mutilate his body parts. Well, even that is adharmic, but at least it was the life of Hanuman would be saved by that. Okay, so this was the time Vibhishan stood up. And when Vibhishan stood up, everybody knew that he might speak something and which is very rare. So therefore Ravana also looked in the direction of Vibhishan. Oh, what does he have to say at this point of time? What does he has to say? And with great humility, Vibhishan, he took hold of the weapons of these Vanaras who were like, kill the Vanaras, kill the monkeys. They were like shouting like that, hurling their weapons. He just, very humbly, please sit down. One by one, he was telling to all those Rakshasas, please kindly sit down. Okay, enough. Sit down. Please sit down. And he was the brother of Ravan. So therefore, people respected him quite a lot. Please kindly sit down. He saw some of them, he took hold of their weapons and said, okay, please sit down, sit down. Enough, enough. We heard you. Please sit down, sit down. He was making everybody sit. It took him a lot of time. Finally, when it was a silent, everybody was silent. Now was the time he could speak something. He had been always trying to change the mind of his brother, make him a little dharmic, but he never got the opportunity to do so. But now he thought this is the right time because Ravan was first time in his life depressed. First time in his life he saw failure. First time in his life he saw that his security system was broken down. First time in his life, he was pondering over why all this happened. So he thought maybe now is the time that Ravan will hear me and will now be able to understand the wisdom of dharma. So he preferred to speak up at this point of time. As he started speaking up, he chose his words very carefully. He said, oh my dear brother, Ravan, we should not be hasty in raising a war against our enemies. According to the Shastric principles, war is the last option. First, we should try all other means possible to resolve the conflict. And if this conflict is still not resolved, at the last we should resort to war. So first we should try out Sam, Dam and Bhed. If this does not work, at the end we can think of raging a war. And if ever we rage a war, we should still not be in a hurry. He said, the war is good option when your enemy is weak, or he is old, or he is suffering from some disaster in his life, or he is inattentive, or he is indulging into a lot of sense gratification. At all these times of life, the enemy will be easily defeated. Whereas Rama and the Vanaras have none of these weaknesses. They're always at vigil. They are filled with anger. They want to destroy the Ravana, the Rakshasa army, and they're thoughtful. They're right now very alert and thoughtful. So this does not seem to be the time that you should hastily go for a war. And if ever we have to wage a war, we should carefully study the strength of our enemy. We should never think that they are weak and hence we should just get into the war. You should study how much powerful these Vanaras and Ram is. Couldn't you see that one lone monkey came inside the Ravana and did so much of havoc? So they are not very easy to be defeated. Please understand that although we might be thinking that we are all great Rakshasas, but our army doesn't, the enemy doesn't seem to be someone who could be easily defeated. And they are very enthusiastic to fight right now. Not that, they are not, they are demotivated to fight. They are very enthusiastic to fight right now. And then he said, another point I always wanted to say to you, O Ravan, was if we wage a war, there should be a reason behind it. I am not able to understand what is the reason for which we are waging this war, if at all we have to do so. If you say that I am taking revenge, if you say, oh my dear brother, that you are taking revenge for the killing of Khar and Dushan, the Rakshasa generals Khar and Dushan, whom Rama killed. So let me tell you, Rama did not attack them first. He was only defending himself. It was the Khar and Dushan who attacked him. And which man will not defend themselves? So Rama was defending, and in the way of defending, Khar and Dushan got killed. So what is the sin for which we are raging the war? For what? For what are we raging the war? And then you say, if you say no, we are supposed to take revenge against what happened. So why didn't we do it earlier? Why did we wait for 10 months? Because it was 10 months ago that Khar and Dushan were killed. Why did you have to wait for 10 months? And if you say that, no, I abducted the wife of Ram 10 months ago, and that was my way of avenging, he said, I don't understand how instead of getting into a direct attack on Ram, you went and when Rama was not present, you kidnapped his wife and you say that is avenging the killing of Khar and Dushan. So I don't see the point in it. He says, I don't see a point in it. And then if you say that you are angry because the Shupranakha, her nose was cut, you are angry because of that. Let me tell you, it was she who chose to go to them. They didn't ever come to her. It was she who went to them. And then what did she do? She attacked on Sita. She tried to kill Sita. Now, which husband will not safeguard his wife? And as a means of safeguarding his wife, some harm has happened to Shurpanakha. So what is wrong in Ram? He asked. And everybody was hearing. Oh, what is he speaking? First time in life, he's actually questioning Ravan. Somebody is questioning Ravan. Okay, how is your action justified? Like what for this war is about? Like किसके लिए? क्या करने के लिए war है भाई? किस लिए लड़ना है? इसका कारण क्या है भाई? What for it is to be fought? There has to be a purpose for it. And he said, oh my dear brother, actually from the time you have abducted Sita, Lanka's demise has started coming. There are so many ill omens which I see in our country. There are so many, inauspicious things which are happening. And this is all because you have abducted Sita in a wrong way. In my opinion, if you want to live happily and rule for long, give back Sita immediately and you will be happy. There will be no war, there will be no troubles. Rama will forgive you. There will be nothing, no enmity between the two. And hence, things will just continue, my dear brother. Can't you see the power of Ram? Can't you see the power of one single Vanara of Ram? How difficult it was for all of us put together to actually just control him. So you should not hastily go for this war, my dear Ravan. Think about it and let us amend our ways of how we are doing. Everybody was silent. They were all thinking, how could he say something against Ravan? This was one man who got the courage to speak the truth in front of Ravan. As I was telling to you, and why he could get that courage? Why he could get the courage to speak the truth? Because he was empowered by Hanumanji, right? And empowered by Hanumanji. You see, this is how devotees help in our life. In all of our lives, Krishna conscious devotees play this role of Hanuman. Huh? The devotees come in our life, they help us live the life of truth. Give us the courage to live that life which is actually worth living. Huh? Vibhishan got the courage and he spoke up. And everybody was like, what did he just speak? They were like, huh? All of them looked at Vibhishan and suddenly all of them looked at Ravan. What will he say now? Ab kya hoga? Huh? Can he digest what he spoke just now? Oh, you did something wrong and you should not do it and you should not this and that. What? They were like, what will Ravan do? Will he become totally angry? But Ravan was still looking down. As I told to you in the very beginning of this episode, that he is very depressed. Right? He's unable to take it that somebody could come to Lanka, all these things. So he was very depressed. He was like, he just kept looking down. He was like not knowing what to do. And he just left the court. He didn't speak a word. He just left the courtroom. And everybody was like, what? Why didn't he reply? कुछ तो बोलना था. हमारे लीडर ने कुछ कहा ही नहीं. हमने इतना उसको एनकरेज किया, हम ये है, हम वो है, हम ये कर देंगे, वो कर देंगे. One truth is more than sufficient to defeat the 1,000 lies. Yes or no? That's the power of truth, actually. Power of truth is this. One truth is sufficient to defeat the thousands of lies. It penetrated the heart of Ravan. Seems like what he's saying is true, but I can't accept it. Right? So he left the room. He just left and he went away. And then all the Rakshasas also went away. Not knowing what they're supposed to do, not knowing क्या करना चाहिए, क्या नहीं करना चाहिए. हमारे लीडर ही छोड़ के चले गए तो हम क्या करें? They went away. And then the night, that particular night, again, this question was perturbing Ravana's mind. He was not knowing, why did I leave the room? Why did I say anything against what Vibhishan said? What is happening to me? Why am I so confused? क्या करना चाहिए? क्या मैंने सही किया? Is Vibhishan what he's saying is true? Are there truly some ill omens which are there in our kingdom Lanka? Is it really true that I have done something wrong by kidnapping Sita? What must I do? He was like confused in his life. First time he was like confused in his life. क्या करना चाहिए? ये सही है, क्या गलत है, क्या सही है? Bewilderment. Everybody will face bewilderment in life. Arjun also was facing this bewilderment. कार्पण्यदोषोपहता स्वभावा पृच्छामि त्वां धर्म सम्मूढ़ चेता यश्रेय निश्चितं ब्रूहि तन्मे शिष्यस्तेहं शादि मां त्वां प्रपन्नम 2.7 7th shloka. Tomorrow is Gita Jayanti, Mokshada Ekadashi, and I hope that everybody here will do something about it. We are not celebrating Gita Jayanti tomorrow because many people are unable to come on Monday. So we are planning and choosing Sunday. This coming Sunday, we will be celebrating Gita Jayanti here. Okay, that's the shloka 2.7. कार्पण्य दोषो पहता स्वभाव प्रच्छामि त्वाम धर्म सम्मूढ़ चेता. धर्म सम्मूढ़ चेता. क्या सही है, क्या गलत है? What should I do? What I should not do? Confused. Arjuna was also confused. And to remove the confusion of Arjuna, Krishna spoke the Gita. If you ever face this kind of bewilderment in life, क्या सही है, क्या गलत है, क्या करना चाहिए, क्या नहीं करना चाहिए? हाँ, if you are like standing in a, what do you call that, crossroads of life where you do not know which direction to take. As they say, if you're in a catch-20 position that you don't know, like what exactly is to be done and not to be done, well, Gita has the answers. So tomorrow, of course, today I think we are going to display the Bhagavad Gita. If anybody wants to buy, there is a discount going on the Bhagavad Gita. They will announce all of that. So, well, we take books from the temple. We have no profit loss policy. We just take from the temple. We give the money to them. It's not that we keep something. So whatever they are saying that some discount can be given now. So we are just offering certain discounts now on the Bhagavad Gita. If anybody wishes to purchase, please purchase. Tomorrow is a Gita Jayanti, the day Gita was spoken. So you could read it. If you have a copy of it, you could give to a friend, you can give to your colleague, you can give to somebody because it's a good gift to give, Gita, the wisdom of the knowledge of the Gita. So Gita removes the confusion. But Ravana was confused. I'll just end with this few more few more things, and we'll end for the day. I want to bring the story to the point of Kumbhakarna's entry, because Kumbhakarna entered now, just after some time. So just few more minutes and Kumbhakarna will enter. Okay. So Ravana was confused on that evening. Thought he was like pacing up and down. He was not knowing like क्या कर रहा हूँ मैं, सही है कि गलत है यार, कुछ समझ नहीं आ रहा. You know, is it true that I have done something wrong? Is it true that Lanka is suffering because I did something wrong? Or have I just read everything wrong? Is it that Vibhishan is my enemy? Why is he siding my enemy this time? Why is he always glorifying that Rama and saying that I did something wrong? Is he truly on my side? क्या सही है क्या गलत है? He needed someone's advice very badly. अरे कोई तो मुझे बताओ यार, कोई तो बताओ. हाँ, who is that person who can tell me? Who is that person who can tell me? Who is that? Ah, there is one person who can tell me. There is one person who doesn't fear me also. There is one person who will tell me the truth. There is one person who will support me. Yes, who is he? None other than my brother Kumbhakarna. But he was sleeping. He was an extraordinary brother. Like 6 months at a stretch, he used to sleep, and this was a sleeping time going on. But Ravana chose to go and wake him up because he was very disturbed. He needed somebody. He needed somebody's advice at that point of time. Well, if you need advice, never take from Kumbhakarna and party. Better come to Gita. Come to Gita. Gita will give you the right advice in life. Come to the devotees. Krishna devotees don't speak, they always speak the truth. They speak something which will be beneficial to you. So come to the devotees. Right. So anyway, nevertheless, there is a next time when you come, I'll speak the way Kumbhakarna was woken up. It's a wonderful thing to say. But just for today, let me just move a little more ahead and bring him in the scene. Next week, we'll discuss on how he woke up also. Amazing way to wake him up. Nevertheless, finally, the next morning, Vibhishan wanted to say something more to Ravan. He thought that maybe I spoke a little more in the public assembly. Maybe I should have spoken these things in private. Maybe I just too much I spoke, and my brother might be feeling hurt. So early in the morning, you know, when was there was a very early in the morning, he came to the palace of Ravan, and he wanted to meet Ravan. And he entered inside the chambers of Ravan, but Ravan did not even look at Vibhishan. He just looked in the other direction. Vibhishan thought that maybe Ravan is becoming humble. Maybe Ravan is now realizing that something needs to be changed. But Ravan had decided that whatever he wants to do, he will just do. So therefore, he did not wanted to even speak to Vibhishan. Nevertheless, Vibhishan had come. So Vibhishan anyway spoke what he wanted to. He said, "My dear brother, what forgive me if I overstepped, certain principles of conduct of a brother yesterday when I spoke about against you. But let me tell you what I spoke was true. Actually, can't you observe, my dear king? There are so many ill omens in our city, Lanka. Let me tell you some of them. And let me also tell you that your generals and ministers do not give you the full picture. They only bring some good news to you and they hide all the bad news from you. And that's why, as your true well-wisher, I want to tell you what is going on in the Lanka from last many days." And he said, "You will be shocked and surprised that even though our Brahmanas are sitting and chanting the proper mantras, doing the proper oblations, putting all the sacred ingredients in the fire, yet the fire is not litting. It's only smoke which is coming out. There is no fire. In the fire yajna sacrifices. Fire has stopped to be burnt in the yajna from last many days. Do you know that the donkeys are braying in our city, Lanka? They are just braying any time and every time, even though we try to go and stop them. They're just braying. This is called as braying, if you don't know. They're just braying. The crows are coming, perching on the top of the houses, and they're just cawing. It's called as cawing. They're just cawing. Huh? We don't know what is happening. The vultures and the eagles are circling in the sky. as if some great disaster is about to happen in the city Lanka, and day by day they are coming closer to the surface, as if the disaster is just coming up. Do you know, as we milk the cows, as soon as the milk of the cow is coming out of her udder, it is becoming curdled. It's becoming curd. Hmm? We don't know what's happening. Nothing auspicious is happening inside the Lanka. Don't you see that there is some connection? Isn't it that, this is the time we should be very careful? That is why I advise you, my dear brother, return Sita and everything else will return to normal. This is not a time for you to raise the war. Please be careful and mindful of the powers of Rama. Yeah? And then this made Ravana even more angry. Enough is enough, he said. Stop it. No, no, no. I am powerful. Nobody can defeat me. And he just left. He just left. And he entered the courtroom again. As he entered the courtroom, of course, he was greeted with so much of pomp and gaiety. So many people, they were, I mean, as the king enters the court, people just, so much actually, so many people will chant so many Vedic mantras. And, the umbrella, the white umbrella, the monkey, the elephant comes. So many things happen. So he was given royal welcome. And he entered inside, sat on the throne. And he again ordered all the people, all the generals to come and meet him. They all came. Vibhishan was also sitting. And now was a time for Ravana to answer what he left the last day. The last day, the meeting just ended with Vibhishan saying something and Ravana standing up. He did not speak up anything. This is the time now he wants to answer. And he first said to Prahasta, the chief general, "Oh, Prahasta, I want that there should be immediate arrangement made for the protection of our city from outside and inside against all the forces. This is a state of war. Let's declare the war." So this was the first few words which he said. Prahasta left, immediately gave out orders to so many generals and came back quickly inside. And then, with a sinister looking smile on his face, he said, "You know, I have a surprise for all of you." And everybody was thinking, like, what's the surprise? What's the surprise? And then he clapped 3 times. And they removed the curtain from the huge wall which was behind the throne of Ravana. This was a special entry because the size of Kumbhakarna was so huge, he could not enter from the front. Right? It was so huge, gigantic a size. So he had made a special door for Kumbhakarna to enter, and everybody knew that that door was behind the throne of Ravana. Behind. And as he ordered, the curtain was removed from there, and everybody was shocked. What? Is this the time that Kumbhakarna will come? Is it not the time that he should be sleeping? Did we wake him up? When did we wake him up? Why did we wake him up? Everybody was like, so many questions. And then comes the entry of the mighty Kumbhakarna. Everybody stood up. Oh my God. He was actually gigantic. There was like huge, hefty looking, Rakshasa. By his massive size, he commanded the awe of everybody. And he was entering, boom, 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 boom. Entered, and there was a special seat which was designed for his weight and size. So Ravana also stood up, greeted his brother, and made him sit down. And now the discussion is going to go further. Let's come next week as we are going to hear about the charged up discussion which is going to happen in this courtroom. What will happen to Vibhishan? Is Vibhishan going to compromise? What is Kumbhakarna going to speak to Ravan? Is he also going to chastise him, or is he just going to kowtow him? What is going to happen there? Is there going to be a conflict between the three brothers in the public? What comes about as this court ends? Let's hear in the next week. I request all of you, please come, and please also tell others, your family, friends, neighbors, that there is a Ramayana going on in which we also speak many life lessons as well as the whole story as it is continuing. I am very thankful and grateful for all of your presence. Hare Krishna. Thank you.
Hare Krishna. Let's thank His Grace Amal Mahaprabhu Prabhuji so for such a wonderfully explaining various life lessons from Rama and pastimes, and also we are very grateful for Prabhuji's presence here. So let's thank Prabhuji by three times loudly chanting Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol. Also, as Prabhuji was mentioning, next week on Sunday, December 7th, we are going to have Gita Jayanti celebrations here. So we'll be having verse recitation from selected verses. Three chapters we'll be having Gita recitation, and followed by we'll be having a special katha on importance of Bhagavad Gita by His Grace Amal Mahaprabhu Prabhuji. Hari Bol. So we would like to heartily invite each one of you to be present for this program. Also, kindly invite your neighbors, friends who are wishes to attend. It is a wonderful opportunity because Gita Jayanti is our festival. It's meant for our celebration. So for the pleasure of lordships. So we like to heartily invite each and every one of you to be present here. And also, because tomorrow is actual Gita Jayanti, we also have many Bhagavad Gitas and many books based on Bhagavad Gita are present here. Also, there are special books which are personally written by Prabhuji, Isra Samlama Prabhuji. There are four books. Many of you already would have seen those books. They are really wonderful books written with lots of wisdom and very practical application that we can apply in